Hello YouTube. This is a video that's a little bit different from the other videos I've done in the past. Um, Most of the videos I did in the past were about just my personal health issues, and this one's a little bit different, a little bit more personal as far as this is regarding relationships. I just got out of a 3.5 year long relationship, and I've actually talked to a lot of other people that have been going through the same thing, as far as relationships. And I mean, so it's a pretty common problem that we all experience at least once in our lifetime, where we go through a really bad breakup and we're trying to move on and let go of these old feelings for people. But I just kind of wanted to give relationship advice because I've learned something from this relationship and my past relationships. There's just things to watch out for, and things that are just you can do so you can allow yourself to move on and just come to a realization that it's over. And just, anyways, like, the first thing I was thinking about was, when you are with somebody for that long, for that extended period of time, when you're around somebody for a while, sooner or later you're going to have a fight, an argument, a disagreement, and that's not a problem. That's just part of progression and growing in the relationship and knowing how far you could push the other person. But when it's constant and you're not making any progress and there's no communication and nothing's getting better, that's a safe way to bet that the relationship might not be worth pursuing. And maybe it's, if there's a lack of communication or a lack of compromise on either party or either side of the relationship, that maybe it's just not healthy. Another one is that a lot of people tend to break up back and forth, like me and my ex did. You break up, you get back together, you break up, you get back together, and it might be over stupid things, just really just insignificant, trivial bullshit. But it's just not good to do that, because eventually, every time you break up, you always know that it's a possibility, and it makes it that much easier, for the person to move on and, just not really have, just great hope or expectations for the relationship. I mean, another one is that you just have to watch out for the red flags. If you guys are continuing to fight and it's not getting any better, you might notice that your significant other is starting to distance themselves from you and might be talking to another guy or a girl, and you just have to speak on that and communicate with your partner that that's not appropriate. And if they're flirting with somebody else or distancing themselves from you and refuse to talk to you or refuse to compromise on something that's making you uncomfortable, like talking to another person, then it might be time to end the relationship before it goes any further and it leads to cheating or just lying that is eventually going to cause you two to break up. Yeah, that's pretty much what you have to do. If the you just have to be able to communicate with them and work on things together. If there's no progress being made and they're not willing to work with you or take your feelings into consideration, the relationship isn't worth pursuing. I mean, it tells you that your partner is not willing to work with you and doesn't care about what you think, and they're going to do what they want regardless. And sometimes, when people break up, they start blaming themselves. Well, what did I do wrong? What can I do to get them to understand how much I care about them? You start questioning yourself after the breakup, and you want to reunite, and you want to be able to get that closure that you need. And sometimes it's just not that easy. Sometimes, I think the best thing, for whether it's your first time breaking up with the person, or it's been a long time coming and it's a serious breakup, a bad breakup where it's just sort of culminated and it's over with this person, you should definitely give yourself some space, give the relationship distance, cut off all communication so it gives you both time to think thoroughly about what you really want. Is the relationship worth getting back together, or putting back together? Do I really want to be with this person, or am I just comfortable with them, so comfortable that I don't want to let go, and you're scared of the great unknown, of being alone, and that will happen. There'll be this haze, or there'll be this overwhelming feeling of loneliness, and you have a feeling of loss. There's this mourning period where it's almost like losing somebody. It's almost like a death, because the person you knew is no longer there in the way that you remember them. They're still alive, they're still out there, but it doesn't involve you two being together anymore, and you have to mourn and realize that after you get over that it will be okay, and you shouldn't have to question yourself or have to constantly try to pursue them, because, like I said, once you make the habit of doing that, it's a clear indication that things aren't going to work out, and they're probably going to get probably going to get worse, and you just can't force someone to be with you. And if there's red flags, like I said earlier, and it's a lot of guys like me think, oh, well, what did I do? I was such a nice guy. Doesn't matter how nice you are. I mean, it's when somebody is done with you and they have moved on in their mind, whether they have lost interest in you on a personal level, as far as something you may have done in the past, a mistake that you may have made to upset them and push them away, or whether they're just not attracted to you anymore, or they found somebody else to fill that void in their life, and they have what most people know as a rebound to get over you. You shouldn't question yourself, and wonder what's wrong with you, because there's nothing wrong with you. The relationship just was unhealthy and it didn't work, and you just have to pick yourself off the ground. I heard one of the best metaphors, of a bad relationship, or a relationship coming to an end. It's almost like, they told me that it was almost like the school bully, taking you out to the bicycle racks, or, taking you out to the parking lot and punching you in the nose, and you just lost the fight. You're embarrassed, you're angry, you're overwhelmed with emotion and feeling like you lost the fight, but time, will pass and wounds will heal, and you will forget about it and move on. And that's pretty much all it is. You're just hurting, you're upset, you're confused, but you always have to remember and just keep in mind that it is over, and some things just can't be fixed, especially when the other person doesn't want them to be fixed. You can't, you just can't do that. And it doesn't mean they're a bad person, it doesn't mean they hate you, it just means that they have moved on and you two have grown apart. And there's really nothing more you can do as far as the relationship goes. You can try to be their friend, you can try to talk to them later on, but I would definitely recommend giving them space and breaking off all communication and focusing on yourself. So maybe when you do try to talk to them one day, you're not so dependent on them. You're not so codependent in feeling like you need them. It's more like, well, you'd like to talk to them, but if you don't, you already have your all the bases covered, and you are focused on your life. And if somebody doesn't want to be your friend, you just have to move on, and that's the way you have to look at it. People come in and out of our lives, and that's just the way things are. But yeah, that's all I wanted to share with you guys. I was going through a hard time for a while, and I'm still taking it one day at a time. But yeah, so if you have any questions, or want to ask me about anything I went through personally, or you're going through the same thing, and you just need somebody to talk to, just let me know. Alright, take it easy, and I will make another video soon.